Golden sap bubbles burst at the surface, leaving sticky circles in its wake. In the distance, a neon waterfall crashes against black rocks in a cloud of steam. The air is charged with tension, as if this calm was only the prelude to an impending madness. Omma steps onto the riverbank, her feet sinking slightly into the soft earth. He pushes his hand-carved raft towards the current. The sides of the boat are uneven, the wood has rough notches, but it climbs above it by adjusting its balance. He wears a broad smile, his eyes fixed in the middle of the river. Alongside him, the competition takes a new turn. A grandmother carefully settles into a porcelain teacup that wobbles dangerously on the water. A baker climbs onto a loaf of bread giant, using a stick as an oar to stabilize herself in position. A child tries to steer a duck by rubber whose size far exceeds that of its pilot. The boats collide with each other. The baker loses his balance, the duck tips over, and the teacup spins on it. Omma remains motionless on her raft. Everyone is waiting for the signal, the muscles tense, hands gripping the makeshift support. A shrill whistle rips through the air. The departure is abrupt. Omma's raft leaped forward, immediately striking the cup. Grandma's tea. The porcelain cracked under the impact, projecting shards in the current. The baker, standing on his loaf of bread, it tips violently as his boat absorbs water and the rubber duck grows heavier, pushed by. The child suddenly turns and blocks the passage, creating a traffic jam in the middle of the rapids. Barley sugar. The rafts collide with each other, crashing into one another in the others with a rubbing noise. Death. Omma maneuvers her raft, narrowly avoiding a sheet of golden sap that spreads like a sticky web. The sap seized the loaf of bread from baker, slowing his progress. The rubber duck bounces against a rock, launching its pilot into the air. The boats deform under the pressure. Indigo and red currents. Omma maintains her trajectory, her hands gripping the irregular edges of his raft, while the other participants are struggling against the river's viscosity. The tension rises with every meter covered, every collision shifting the center of gravity of the rafts. There is total chaos. The neon waterfall appears, a wall of light liquid crashing against the rocks. The rafts reach the edge and tip into the void. The baker's loaf of bread is falling apart, shattered under the pressure, while the porcelain teacup explodes into 1,000 pieces. The participants' bodies stretch, their limbs stretching like elastic bands under the centrifugal force of the fall. The child is thrown away from the duck in rubber, which spins on itself before crash against a wall. Omma, at the center of the turmoil, suffers the counterattack. His raft struck a protruding rock, pivoted at 90 degrees, then bounced off a rock face. It slides along the rock, brushing against a whirlwind of sap and lands violently on a stone platform. He teeters, almost falls, but his feet lock onto the wood. The raft sets off again, propelled by the current. Around him lay the wreckage of the other boats. They float, unusable. Omma remains standing, knees bent to absorb successive shocks. He dodges a block of barley sugar, who falls. His raft pivots, avoiding a sap trap. He crosses the impact zone, unharmed, towards the finish line. The tumult subsides, the eddies of the neon cascades subside, giving way to a calm and shimmering body of water. Omma's raft glides effortlessly, carried by a light current. He approaches a golden lily pad which floats, motionless, in the center of the basin. The wood of the raft gently bumps against the platform. Omma places a foot on the firm surface. He straightens up, adjusts his balance, then lifts both arms above his head.